And it looks like we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is The Cove, and we are here for the Retro Games Racing March 2018 race. We are playing Wario's Woods today, which is a really fun puzzle game. I will say it's really frustrating at first, but once you learn what you're doing, it's actually quite fun. I am lucky enough to be joined today on commentary by the world record holder, Kat Kunoichi. So, hi, Kat.
Hello, hello everyone.
Do you want to tell people a little bit about yourself and like what type of games you run and that type of stuff?
Yeah, I mainly run at the moment at least puzzle games like Warriors Woods, of course, and I run Tetris and such. I also have the world record for probably a very unknown game which is called Yoshi, which is RNG Fiesta, exactly just like Warriors Woods apparently. So we happen to like RNG heavy puzzle games. And I'm currently learning a little bit of Batman, so we'll probably focus on that in the future. But yeah,
Ooh,
that's pretty much it.
Batman. That's not
Yeah,
an easy
that's
game.
rough. No, not at all.
Okay, give us 1 second. I am going to. It looks like we are all ready, so I will be starting up the SRL race, and then we will be getting started. So give us about 30 seconds. So, Kat, why don't you, while I'm doing that, why don't you tell us a little bit about Wario's Woods and what kind of makes it unique, and also what can make it a little more frustrating for like somebody who's just picking it up.
Yeah, the first thing that I think people might find difficult about this game is probably getting familiar with mechanics and controls, because even if you're playing on an original setup, you will experience a little bit of some sort of input lag, which is due to the fact that movement, when you move, you kind of commit to that movement, so you're not exactly fluid there. So you really want to get familiar with movement and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you can do when it comes to movement, and there you will see people kicking monsters and bombs and picking them up in stacks or singularly. There's a lot of creativity going on actually, and the more you get familiar with the game, the easier it will be for you to control Toad in the best way possible and clear the screen in the fastest way possible. The game is pretty RNG heavy because, especially in the classic mode of the game, because all the drops, so basically the bombs that the game will drop you, and the diamonds that you can generate are basically all random. So you really, really want to develop nice adaptation skills to contrast the RNG of this game. And every screen, I think, you can be found in the game in two different combinations. So you can kind of learn how the layout of every single round. So you can combine the knowledge that you will acquire playing the game with the adaptation skill that you will develop as you keep playing the game. So there are ways to contrast the RNG, of course. You can get familiar with those ways. So in the end, it's all good actually. So there's a nice balance there between skills and RNG. So that's pretty much it.
Nice. No, I mean that was a really comprehensive.
Yeah.
No, that was really good. Yeah, so there are a lot of different categories, but we will
Yeah.
be running the 20 level category today,
Yeah,
which
the
is
shortest one.
the shortest one, but I also think probably the best one for a race category or a
Yeah,
race.
absolutely, absolutely.
And everyone is now readied up, so I am going to drop out of the SRL race, so it will start. So we will have the race starting momentarily. Okay, and we will be starting in 2 seconds. So this should be pretty good. I think everyone is separated by about 3.5 minutes for their PBs. So Malaman, I believe, is on the top left. Yes, he has the best time of the four. And it kind of goes in order from like top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right for the PB orders. But they go from a 6:19 to a 9:45.
Yeah, you can actually see how the players actually got familiar with the game during this. I mean, you can tell that they've been playing a lot during the week. I actually wasn't expecting these kind of times on the spreadsheet that we have here. I was expecting people to maybe have more difficulties, but I mean that range of time specifically is very, very good. Considering that we've been playing for just less than a week actually now. So I'm definitely impressed by that.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've been actually really like pleasantly surprised about with our with Retro Games Racing is like a lot of the games that we've chosen, like people have made really good strides in a week, and it really goes to show like if you dedicate yourself for only a week, like a really short period of time, you can make a lot of progress in games.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I was actually watching the last race, the Chip and Dale race, and everyone was actually doing very good. So that really shows that when you commit to a game, even for just maybe short period of time, you can really get good results. So it's all about practicing, actually.
Yep, and that's part of what Retro Games Racing is for. Is like we're there to try to help people learn, and so we're definitely supportive of it too. So it looks like Vic is actually holding up pretty well. He has the worst PB out of everyone, but he's the second person into round 9.
Yeah, he's doing actually pretty good.
And the levels will slow down a bit. Like you can get through the first 10 levels a lot quicker than you can 11 through 20.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, the first 9 levels you can basically fly through them because they're very, they're definitely easy. There are not a lot of monsters on the board to clean, so you can proceed quite quickly. You're not really dependent on RNG for the first half of this race actually. And from level 10, you can start seeing a little bit of extra struggle because of course the number of monsters on screen will increase. So you will need some sort of tactics to get through those screens. And the level of complexity of course increases as well. So you kind of need to get lucky a little bit with the layout that you will get in every round, and of course with the drops that the game will give you.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely true. I do also want to give a shout out to Corvus, who is in our chat right now. She was nice enough to do a little tutorial video for us this week. I hopped into her channel one day and I was just like, hey, I know you run this race, and if I'd have known you were in our, or you were willing to do it too, I would have probably asked you to get it as well. But
no, I mean,
Corvus made a really she made a really nice tutorial that we'll probably, if she hasn't yet, I'll see if she can post that somewhere like on YouTube or somewhere else, because I think, or at least probably just to the speedrun or the speedrun.com guide section, because I feel like it was really good.
Yeah, it's a good material, so if people want to learn the basic mechanics and stuff, they should definitely go check out her tutorial. It's very well done. So it's a nice approach to the game if you're completely unfamiliar with it. Definitely a nice help.
So it looks like everyone is on to at least level 12 now, with Malaman taking a bit of a lead going into 14.
Yeah, it's actually very good.
So actually, JSR2 Gamers, he kind of sniped and joined our race right before we started, so we don't have him up on the stream. But JSR, I'm not sure how good he is at Wario's Woods, but he is a very, very good video game player in general.
Yeah, sure, he's a good player. I actually know nothing about his Wario's Woods skills specifically, but yeah, he's definitely a good player, so he should do absolutely fine in this one.
So the one move that confused me a lot at the beginning until I actually figured out it was a thing was when you're holding a stack, if you press B, you can drop the bottom one.
Ah, yeah.
And I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, not only you can grab bombs or monsters singularly pressing B, you can also drop them singularly pressing B once you hold that the stack. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, as I was saying, there are so many little things that are up, of course, and make the difference. That you only learn playing the game over and over. There are so many little things that you will notice as you keep playing. It's incredible, actually. That's why it's a very, very good game. It's very, I mean, it's in its simplicity. It's actually kind of complex from that point of view. So you really want to play a lot in order to discover all the different mechanics and possibilities that the game offers you.
Definitely.
Yeah. Monument is actually doing very good in this section. That's literally the level 17 is literally the only round in the game where you will only get one configuration of monsters. No idea why, but that's literally the only level where you know absolutely surely what is going to happen and what monsters you're going to get. So you can kind of enter prepared in that screen. You should know already what to do.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. He's playing very, very clean actually at the moment. A very, very good play.
So what's your average time? Like if you're running this, like, can you get a sub 6 every time, or?
Yeah, at the moment, yes. It may vary greatly, actually, because again, especially in such a short category, it's the shortest the category. I would say the more dependent you are on RNG. But I mean, roughly, I should be able to get at worst probably 5:45 or 5:50 or something like that. So I should be able to always be under 6 minutes at least.
Wow, nice. And Malaman is
getting like the worst RNG possible.
Yeah, I mean that can happen, but
yeah.
It does look like Malaman is seconds away from finishing out.
Yep, it's almost there.
Oh, yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Yep, but he is through. So wow, so he has 7:04 on his timer.
Yeah,
that's a really good time for a race.
Definitely a good time. I mean, he's been playing for just 1 week, so that's absolutely good.
Yeah, Malaman is a very talented runner. Actually, all these guys are good at the games that they do play, like, regularly.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to see what they can do with other types of games as well.
Yeah, especially for this game in particular, because it's very, very peculiar. Even for being a puzzle game, it's actually a very peculiar puzzle game too. So it's always interesting to see how people do it this specifically, especially when they're totally unfamiliar with it. And it's interesting to see how they approach it and stuff. But yeah, they're all doing pretty good actually.
Yeah, I think like looking at splits, Victress is actually on PB pace currently. I hope I don't jinx him, but
yeah. The commentator's curse. Yes, he's definitely on good pace, so hopefully he will keep at it.
But yeah, I love seeing how far people can come in a week, because like Daniel is about to finish right now, and Daniel's newer to the group. I think this might be his first race, or else he did a race. He might have done the Chippendale race. I don't think he did, though.
I actually don't think he did, no. I don't remember his name in that race specifically. So he's his first one.
It does look like JSR did finish in second with an 8:34, so GG to JSR.
GG indeed. Sneaked in and got the second place. Nice one.
So, come down to second place right here. We got all three of them on level 20.
Yeah. It's gonna be close.
It looks like Daniel is going to take third with a 9:17 on his splits.
Yeah, which is still sub 10, which is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you consider just how little people have been playing this game, like
yeah, exactly. That's the point. That's absolutely the point.
And Vic is in with a 9:44, which is a PB by 1 second.
Yeah.
So GG to Victress as well. And McButters is finishing up right here in a couple seconds. He got an unlucky red guy spawn.
Yeah, that can happen, unfortunately.
And we're gonna give Butters the GG, even though he decided not to run out of the room. But looks like he just paused the game.
Yeah.
But everyone is finished.
Yeah.
That was so. This was interesting because a lot of times, like we've had a lot of the times in our games be like really far from world record. Like one of the races we did was Metroid for the Nintendo, and I think world record was around a 10:20 at that point. And I think I won the race with an 18-minute time, and second place was at like 28 minutes.
Wow.
Because Metroid is like an incredibly hard game to learn to speedrun. But this game, this race and the Chip and Dale race, everyone was much closer. Like I know like 10:15 for Butters is still almost double the world record, but I feel like for how difficult this game is, they all did a really, really good job learning the games.
Yeah, they sure did. I mean, again, it's a hard game at first because you really want to get familiar with mechanics. But seeing how well they've done, like in this particular race, it's very. I mean, I'm actually impressed because I wasn't expecting such a result. So they definitely did good. The category, of course, is short, so you can't really expect to get very high times and stuff. But I mean, they all got sub 10, and even McButters got a very low 10 time on the race. So it shows how close they are and how close they can get from world record, of course. But yeah, they've actually done pretty good, every one of them. So it definitely shows that they put some effort into learning the game and playing it over and over. So that's definitely a good thing. I actually hope that some of them will keep at it and will keep playing and lower their PBs because they can, of course, do better and improve their time and submit it eventually to the leaderboard, which would be awesome. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I hope for your sake too that some of them keep playing it. I know that a lot of the games that we've done, like people have continued to run the games, and so hopefully that will end up working. I see some chat about Victress's colors. He actually created a ROM hack because he's colorblind, and he created a ROM hack that changed the colors of the monsters, so he could actually decipher which color is which. And then I think he also went in and was looking for just a way to change a color palette with his emulator that he was using. So I'm not sure which one he ended up using, but I thought that was a pretty ingenious way to be able to still be able to play the game being colorblind, because he was having a lot of troubles being able to decipher which colors were which in some cases.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice workaround.
So just a couple other last notes. One, I put Strizer's Twitch channel in chat. Please give Strizer a host. He is one of our main restreamers, and restreaming takes so much work. So I just want to shout him out. He's a really good Mega Man player. He's done the Triple M, where you play, I think, 23 Mega Man games in a row. And so please follow him. Also, please follow Kat Kunoichi, who had some wonderful commentary with me. She is the world record holder, like we said, on Wario's Woods. And also, I want to shout out Kay Corvus again in chat, who made a wonderful tutorial for us. You three really kind of made this week happen. So thank you guys so much. And also thank you to all of our runners. Be sure to give them follows as well. They're being fairly vulnerable, I think, like allowing themselves to be seen after like just barely learning a game and then opening it up to a public race. Like it can take a lot of courage to do that. Do you have any last words, Kat? Otherwise, I'm gonna close with kind of a spiel about RGR, just so people make sure they know what we're about. But I want to give you a chance to say goodbye.
Yeah, I was actually glad that everyone that participated and practiced the game, even though they didn't take part in the race, actually had fun playing the game. because it can be, as you were saying, actually, the beginning can be kind of frustrating at first, because of course you really want to get familiar and practice a little bit. But I mean, the more you play, I think the funnier it gets. So I'm really glad that everyone had fun and everyone kept pushing their times down. So it was a very interesting week to see everyone posting their new times and stuff and preparing for the race. So I'm definitely glad that everyone had a good time with the game. And again, I hope they keep it in the future. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually,
this.
thanks for having me. It was actually my pleasure to commentate with you. It's always very fun to see new runners and new players play the game, and in a race context especially. So that was actually very fun. So thank you.
No, of course. I mean, obviously, like being the world record holder, it was our pleasure having you here. But I just wanted to let people know, if you liked what you saw here today, we are Retro Games Racing. We are a group of friends that started speedrunning a game once a month, just as friends who wanted to learn to run more games. And as more and more people found out about it, they became interested. So we've kind of opened it up to the public, and whoever wants to join can join. I'll go ahead and post a link to our Discord in the chat if you are interested. We learn one game a month. You have about a week to learn the game, and so you have plenty of time, or not plenty of time. You don't have a lot of time to learn the game, but it is really fun. We've had everyone from a first-time speedrunner all the way up to really, really good speedrunners playing. And I think the key for us is just having people join who want to learn to speedrun more games, but at the same time are also willing to help others learn. We try to have at least somebody in our community make a tutorial for each game, which we find very helpful. And everyone's in the Discord to answer questions and that type of stuff. And Kat was great this week. Corvus was great this week. Those were kind of the two people that we know who